Right, I wasn't going to bother filming the return trip from Rugby, but it's a really horrible day, so I thought I might actually have a look at how the weather impacts on things. So, a better route planner and Google Maps are both telling me to go via the West Coast route up the M6, but the traffic around Warrington looks horrendous in particular. It's only 12 minutes faster, which is why they're sending me that way. So what I'm going to do is actually go up via Leeds Skelton Lake. So if I add in a waypoint and I go for Leeds Skelton Lake, tell a better route planner to go that way, then hopefully, yeah, so that's the way I would prefer to go, I think. So it's telling me to do 2 charging stops, go all the way up to Leeds, charge there for 19 minutes. That'll be fine because it's 2 o'clock at the moment, and by the time I get there I'll be wanting a coffee or a break. I've not had any lunch, so I might well grab some food. And then it's telling me to stop for 40 minutes at Gretna. So that's the way I'm going to go, and hopefully it'll make a bit of a difference from going up the West Coast. Although actually looking at it, the traffic, I'm not sure where that is, I can't see where it is. The traffic there is pretty rotten as well. So either way, it looks like I'm going to be in for some great traffic. So I'll reset the Since Start driving data. I will put the car into eco mode and we will see how it goes. So I'm not starting off full, I'm starting off at 91% state of charge, but I've got more than enough charge to get to Ionity at Leeds, so I will head off and I'll check back in when we get to Leeds. So a quick update. For some reason I could not get a better route planner to schedule in a charging stop via Ionity in Leeds, even when I set the network preference to use nothing but Ionity. So when I was stuck in a traffic jam a little while ago, I had a quick look, and it seems that the entire Ionity site at Leeds is offline. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but so that means that a better route planner was right. I do need to go to Wetherby. I've never been there before. I've no idea what quality the services are. It's a shame because the Leeds one is actually quite a good service area, great choice of food. So as it now stands, I'm going to be going to Wetherby, stop in there. It says for 18 minutes I'll arrive with 38%, and then if I charge there for 18 minutes, to be honest I'll charge for longer than that, then it will give me enough to reach Ionity at Gretna Green. So here's another great feature that's available on the car. It's not a feature of the car, it's more a feature of Android Auto, but it's built into the car, so why not? I've never been to Wetherby services, so I've no idea what options I'm going to have for my evening meals. So, what food retailers are available at the Wetherby services on the M1?
I found 12 on the website moto-way.com. Here are the first 5. BP, Burger King, Chow, Costa, and Greg's. Do you want to hear more?
Yes, please.
Sure, here's 3 more. KFC, Krispy Kreme, and M&S Food. By the way, if you want to see the whole list, you can check out the link I just sent to your phone.
That's great. I'd like you to read them all out to me, but yeah, fine, okay. So I made that 8, and so I wonder what the other 4 are. I guess I'll have to wait until I get there and I can look at the link that Google has sent to my phone. Okay, so it has been 3 hours since I set off from Rugby, and that is time for a break. I left at 2 o'clock. It's now 12 minutes past 5 in the evening, so I need a break. I need something to eat, and Wetherby is it. We've got a good range of charges available here by the look of it.
Roundabout, third exit.
Not such a great range of food. I think it's mainly sandwiches and burgers, basically. But hey, I'm hungry, so I need to eat. How's the car done? 3.8 miles per kilowatt hour. The traffic has been pretty horrendous. There's been a lot of driving at 50, 40 miles an hour even, due to the traffic jams. It's never completely ground to a halt, so that's something to be grateful for.
Exit the roundabout.
Now, I've never been here before. There we go, good signage, grid serve, electric charging. Grid serve electric charging straight on. This is very good, good sign. If only all motorway service areas signposted the EV charging. What is worth noting, actually, a lot of people are asking regularly on Facebook questions like, why was my charging rate slow? The battery must have been hot because I've been driving for 30 minutes. You probably can't see this on camera, but EV Notify is showing that I've been driving for 3 hours and the battery has gone up a whole 3 degrees. It was 14 degrees, it's now at 17. So unless you're doing lots of what I call yo-yo driving, oh wow, there's a load of chargers here. Unless you're doing lots of yo-yo driving where you're accelerating really hard and then braking really hard and regenning, then you're not going to go up much in temperature. So I will reverse in here. Another great feature on the Enyaq, one of my favourites. The camera was obscured by water there. Quick squirt on the rear washer and it is nice and clear. Okay, I've had some food, I think. Just a standard motorway service area burger, so nothing fancy. And in the time it's taken me to get in and grab my burger, the car's gone back up to 76%. Fastest charge rate I've seen here was just, I think, 51, 52 kilowatts. So it just goes to show if the battery is not low, and as I said, the battery was not hot, then the charge speed is not going to be fantastic. But it was absolutely fine for what I needed to do, the time I needed to be. And as you can see from EV Notify, it is now, even with that rapid charging, the battery has only gone up to 24 degrees, and I'm fairly sure that will drop down as we get moving and the car tries to cool it down. The car's now telling me that the best way to go is to go to Gretna Green. It's not even offering me Alnwick as an option, but I think even when it was offering me that, because Audi drivers don't have to give way to oncoming traffic. What was I saying? Yeah, even when I was being offered that as an option, it was an extra 22 minutes, and frankly, I'm not really wanting to do that at the end of the week when I've been away for 4 days. So Gretna Green it is. As you can see at the moment, all the chargers are occupied, which is the one issue I've got with Gretna. There's only 4 chargers and they're quite often fully occupied, whereas Alnwick tends to be a little bit quieter. But it is what it is. Onwards and upwards, we'll see how things are when I get to Gretna. So now that it's getting dark, I thought I might try and capture a little bit of footage of the head-up display. It's one of my favourite features on the car. It was a bit of an impulse buy when I was configuring the car on the Skoda configurator. And at the time it was about £500 or £600. So it was a bit frivolous, but actually I'm really glad that I bought it. So what can you see in the display? Hopefully it's picking it up. I've got the GoPro mounted on the steering wheel. So it should be showing that the left-hand side, the cruise control is set for 50. It was set at 70, but we're in roadworks, so the car has picked that up from the road signs and cut the speed down to 50. So we'll see what it says here, if it picks up maximum speed 40. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. It flickered for a second. Anyway, so yeah, the cruise control 50. The next one over is showing it's got a car in front of it, in front of us, and it's showing with the orange lines that it's got it's detected the lane markings on both sides. Therefore, auto steer is going to be working. Speed limit of 50. The actual speed we're traveling is 47, and then on the right hand side the sat nav directions telling me I'm going to carry on the A1 towards Morpeth, and that is and 6.5 miles until the next junction. So I have just arrived at Alnwick services, and I'm quite hopeful I'm going to get a good state of charge here, because, or a good rate of charge. The car is at 15.3%, which is absolutely in the zone for getting 100 kilowatts, and I've managed to heat the battery up. Oh, I've also managed to miss the turning, and that lets me demonstrate the excellent turning circle, which is another amazing feature on the Enyaq, since I'm doing my top whatever likes and dislikes. So yeah, I've been doing a bit of yo-yo driving, so I've been accelerating really hard up to 70 and then putting the car in B mode and lifting off the pedal. So I've managed to get the temperature up so that it's sitting, the minimum reading 21, the maximum 25.5. So that should give me a really fast rate of charge. Now it looks to me like all four of these chargers are actually working. I'm not sure why a better route planner was reporting one of them as being out of action, but we shall soon see. I'm sure they're all working just fine. That's one of my hate features actually, is that the camera angle on the Enyaq's reversing camera, if I can put that back on, is pretty, I don't know, it's not the greatest angle at all. You can pick different angles, but neither of them is particularly great as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, let's get out, let's plug in, let's see what the rate of charge comes in at. So as you can see, car's at 14%, charge rate is ramping up. Oh, it briefly went over 100 kilowatts there, that's interesting. Yeah, so 100 kilowatts, if you get your state of charge low enough and if you get your battery warm enough, then you will see 100 kilowatts. Again, this should improve in a couple of weeks time when I get the version 3.0 software. That will go up to 125. Yeah, I've been charging for 25 minutes. In that time I've managed to walk across to McDonald's, which is about 100 metres away tops. I've bought myself a coffee, I've drunk a little bit of it, I've wandered back over, the car's already at 75%. That's pretty impressive. The charging rate, people obsess about this, it's down to 47.5. I'm approaching 80%, so that's still pretty decent for approaching 80%. But that's enough for me to get home. I will be able to get home quite happily with this. And so I'm going to stop the charge and head on my way. So here's a bit of a nightmare scenario. The A1, the main road between Scotland and England on the east coast, has just been closed. It's closed for 4 nights for roadworks, and they've just said follow diversion, but they haven't actually signposted a diversion. So there's been a massive queue of cars, everyone's standing around on the road looking at the cones and wondering how do we get to Edinburgh. So we're all now heading back down towards England, where we'll all have to go inland, cross country, and try and navigate a way around. Neither ABRP nor Google Maps nor anyone else's sat nav in any other cars knew anything about it. So I'm not sure what state of charge I'm going to have when I get home. It certainly won't be a normal run back to West Lothian. Anyway, I'll update later on when I figure out where on earth I'm going. So there we are, almost 9 hours. In fact, it is just over 9 hours since I left Rugby. Quite incredible. Lots of heavy traffic in the Sheffield and Leeds areas, and that really didn't help. And then I've had a massive detour this evening because some genius decided to close the A1 and didn't signpost the diversion, so it's been quite a long detour. If I hadn't actually added up a little extra power when I stopped at Alnwick, then I would have been in a bit of trouble. I think I would have had to find a charger somewhere in the Scottish borders. So what I'm going to do now is just going to stop in at a local Charge Place Scotland rapid charger, maybe put 10-15 minutes worth of power into the car, and then stick it on charge when I get home. Oh yeah, one other thing to note is that, as I said a couple of times throughout this video, people are often wondering why the battery, or assuming the battery must be hot because they've been driving for a while. So I've been driving, well, I've been travelling for 9 hours. I think there's about 7 hours of that is, 7.5 hours of that is actually driving. When I left the Ionity charger, the battery was hot. It was, well, I think it was over 29 degrees. The car has now kicked in its cooling systems, and the battery is, minimum level is showing as 17 degrees, maximum is 21. So as you can see, you cannot assume that because you've been driving for a certain period of time that the car will have warmed the battery up. It won't, quite the reverse. It will probably have cooled it down. So just at journey's end, I thought I'd take the chance to show you another really great feature of the Enyaq. The interior really is feels kind of premium. I've got the lounge interior, so it's a grey Alcantara on the dash. It's grey Alcantara, grey leather on the seats. But the ambient lighting I really love in this car. I've got it set for blue, matching the paintwork. But when you open the door, the blue light turns to red as a safety light to show other drivers that you've got your door open. Really is a classy interior. In terms of economy, it's been pretty poor, especially on this last part. 119 miles since Alnwick. It's taken me 2.5 hours, and that's largely due to the diversion off the A1. Thanks very much to Transport Scotland for putting in a 4-night closure of the main road and not implementing a diversion at all. Crazy. But thanks to all the back B roads and C roads and goodness knows where I ended up, 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. It's pretty poor, but overall from Rugby it's been 3.5. So I think the really bad weather and winds really helped to kill the fuel economy, but the time it's taken is largely down to the pretty awful traffic round about Sheffield and Leeds. I did hear why the Ionity charger at Leeds was offline. Apparently somebody has removed all the cables, so cable theft of I think it's 6 Ionity chargers there. It's pretty shocking stuff. Hopefully not a sign of anything we're going to see a bit more often. Anyway, hopefully that is of some use to somebody, and I will see you in the next video.